Hello, and welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Unmasking Your True Self. I'm Elisa Boogaerts, your guide on this journey to discovering the most genuine version of yourself. Each episode is a step towards unveiling the incredible power that lies within you as we strip away all the shoulds and shine a light on the coulds. Together, we'll explore the path of self-empowerment, self-confidence, and the courage to be unapologetically you. Thank you for being here. Hi. So today we're going to be talking about mental health in this episode. I'm going to be giving you some tools to improve your mental health and some ideas of how to interact with someone who is having mental health issues. And then we're going to end with a meditation to help you get calm and clear and confident. So if you're able and you're safe to do so, you might want to take some notes. May is Mental Health Awareness Month in Canada. And I'm recording this to be released at the beginning of May, but I'm sure you could be listening to this at any time. But I think that mental health is always a subject that is good to talk about any time of year. And I really love that mental health has become more commonplace now. And people are talking about it more openly. I'm definitely someone who openly talks about it with friends and families. I do it because I want to be authentic with how I'm feeling and also normalize it, and that it's okay for everything to not be wonderful all the time. I mean, it's great when things are wonderful, and celebrating that really is key. And it's okay when things are kind of shit, right? Sometimes they're just kind of shit. And vulnerability, I've been noticing, is not as normalized as talking about mental health. It's obviously become famous with Brene Brown, which I think is totally awesome. And it can be hard. It can be really hard to open up and be vulnerable. Our brains link back to our caveman days. And we see it with animals today as well, right? It's like the survival of the fittest. If you're the weak, vulnerable one, you're not safe and your survival is at risk. So we have this reaction to vulnerability as being bad or being dangerous. And I mean, it makes sense when you think about it that way. However, in this day and age, as humans, being vulnerable means many different things. You could see someone who looks physically weak and you might think that they're vulnerable, but they could be some super intelligent person making millions of dollars, right? And be hugely successful. So it doesn't always apply to everything. And being vulnerable with our feelings doesn't necessarily equate to being weak. To me, it's being open and honest and authentic. Because vulnerability has many meanings, right? And such a history as we have evolved. And it can be hard to know what to do when someone is being vulnerable with you. Some of us can go into sort of a savior mode and want to help and fix a person so they can feel better, or to give her advice or to say what they do to feel fantastic. And these are all beautiful intentions. Giving advice and suggestions can be helpful. However, when it's a mental health issue, you may need a different approach. So here are some ideas that you can use or even share with those fixers in your life when someone is brave enough to be vulnerable and say what they are struggling with. So the first thing you want to do is give them your full attention when they're opening up and being vulnerable and talking about what they're struggling with, or just being vulnerable in general. Just give them your full attention and actively listen to what they are saying. So you want to give them your full attention and actively listen to them, meaning that you're not thinking about something else, that you're not thinking about your response that you want to give. You're not thinking about, that it reminds you of something else or something that you relate to. When you're active listening, it's sort of like being um, an observer. So you're witnessing them as an observer, and the observer listens with full presence and compassion and curiosity. And as an observer, you maintain a certain distance to ensure that you're observing versus getting super drawn into them or sort of getting lost in their feelings. And it's really important because a lot of us feel like, or maybe it doesn't happen much in this world, is that we don't really truly feel listened to. And therefore, we can feel misunderstood all the time. And the more that we're able to actively listen to each other, the more that the other person, or that even if someone actively listens with you, that you'll feel more understood. You'll feel understood and seen and heard. And this is something that I think that we all would really value. So, as you're active listening to what they're saying and giving them your full attention, validate their experience. Even if you don't understand it, or you can't relate, or maybe you can, it doesn't matter. Validate them, because what they're feeling is real. That sometimes when we have fears that come up, even though we know we're not actually physically being threatened, but in our mind, it is real. We are feeling it. So validate their experience and get curious about it. Let go of any judgments or quick fixes that you may have for their issue. And then a way to get curious is, as you're listening and you're validating them, you can start to ask them some open-ended questions so that you can understand them better. And also you can ask how you can help, or, what do they need in that moment, right then and there. And as they talk about what they need and how you can help, and you're still giving them your full attention, and you're still actively listening and validating them and getting curious and asking open-ended questions, you can encourage them to take action without telling them what to do. So whatever sort of ideas that come up, encourage them to do those and do it gently. And then be sure to check in with them after the chat. After you have this conversation or your time with them, check in with them. Give them a call or a text, in a day or two, in a couple of weeks. I've definitely known this. I've known that when I've been vulnerable and shared my mental health issues, and someone asked me what I needed from them in that moment, I would have answered that I wanted kindness and love and support. I would have wanted validation of my feelings. I would have wanted compassion in that moment. Because in that moment, I needed a friend. I needed a shoulder to lean on. And actually, if your friend told you that, wouldn't it be easier to give them a hug, to show them kindness and compassion, as opposed to trying to find a solution to their problem right then and there? It's likely that you don't know all the details and the complexities of their issues. So you wouldn't be able to fix it right away anyway. The advice that you might give, or the suggestions that you might give, may not be right because you don't know all those details, and that our lives are so complex, and mental health issues can be so complex, and they may only be sharing a small piece of it with you. So therefore your fix may not work anyway. And so, maybe you can just relax and ask them what they need. And if it's that hug, give them that hug. If it's kindness and compassion, give them the kindness and compassion. It can really be that simple, because as you're listening to them and you're asking them questions and you're holding that space for them, that is doing so much for their mental health because they're feeling validated and seen and heard and loved. And the checking in is really important. I know that there's been times when I've opened up to my friends and then there was no follow through afterwards. And I just thought, oh, like I don't really feel cared for. So I think that's really, really important. Make a note for yourself to go follow up with them. So, one powerful mindset that can help is giving thanks and having an attitude of gratitude. And this has, been shown as the scientific research has been shown to improve mental health. So, what are you grateful for in your life? What do you love about your life? Even in those dark moments, we can still think of things that we're grateful for. We can still think of things that we do love. And, even if you're in such a place where you don't feel like you can get out of bed, do you love your bed? Are you grateful for the comfortableness of it, the warm coziness of it? Are you grateful for, the food you have or that the delivery person that brings you your Uber Eats? Even these little things we can look at being grateful for. And also, if you're not in a dark place, mental health has a huge, wide range. And even if you are on the more positive side, the more happy side, you can also think of things that you're grateful for and love about. And this is a really good daily practice to have, because we often take things for granted and we spend too much time focusing on the negative. And I know that I'm in a bit of a negative right at the moment, and I'm lacking energy and can't seem to fully feel the positives in some not so positive situations. And what I've done is started up my gratitude journal again. So each night before bed, I write down at least 3 things that I'm grateful for that day. I'm going to keep my journal on my bedside table, so I see it as I crawl into bed, which helps me remember to do it. And when I had this practice of gratitude before, I really noticed an improvement in my mental health because you go to sleep with this state of mind of gratitude, which does wonders for your brain. So I encourage you every day to think about what you're grateful for and write them down. It only takes a minute. Am I doing this right before bed? You likely fall asleep in a positive mindset, and it'll help your brain to process gratitude. And you may notice that you will fall asleep easier and have a more restful sleep and wake up in a better mood. And this will have a greater impact on your mental health. But of course, doing this any time of day is beneficial. And sometimes that negative chatter is relentless, isn't it? I know that the negative chatter in my head has prevented me from living the life I want in some ways. The past few years, I've definitely been hiding. And it's interesting that once you tune into it, you start to notice how often you can slip into negative thought patterns. And the worst is when you're trying to go to sleep and you just go from one negative thought to the next. So I want to share some tips with you that I use to stop the negative chatter, or if I'm in a bit of a bad mood, to change my mindset to a more positive one. So this one works really well, I think, if you're in bed. So is to say the word stop. Actually say this to yourself, and it will stop that negative thought right then and there. And then if you slip back into it, you say stop again. And this one really does work. And I use it most when I'm trying to get to sleep. And it's interesting as well, you can count how many times that you are saying stop to yourself. And I find that if you do it, different thoughts that come up, you'll notice that you'll say stop less and less. Another tip is to note the thought kindly and gently. You can say something like, "Oh, there's that negative thought again. I see you." And then do a mindfulness activity, like taking a few deep breaths, really focusing on the rising and falling of your chest or stomach. Listen to the sound of your breath and feel it come in and out of your nostrils. You can also rub two fingertips together and really focus on the ridges of your fingertips. This will help to raise your frequency and can kind of get you out of that negativity. Another tip that I love is to, maybe this one isn't great for bedtime, but during the day is to make a list of happy or hilarious moments that you've had and look at them to shift your mood. I'll definitely put a smile on your face, bringing up those memories. You could listen to your favorite song. You could even dance to it if you want. Music is good for the soul. You can also give yourself a hug. If your thoughts are against yourself, and say a positive affirmation to yourself. Give yourself a big old bear hug, squeeze, and say something kind and loving to yourself. Use a positive affirmation. And when you have calmed down the thought, and try one of these to change your thought patterns. See if you can see it in a positive light with patience, compassion, and curiosity. Right? See if you can see that thought in a positive light. See if you can accept the situation or event as it is. See if you can view the situation or event as an opportunity for something positive. Like I did when my flight was delayed once. Instead of getting frustrated and agitated, I realized I could use the time to do some coursework that I've been wanting to get to. So those are some tips. Another way to improve your mental health is with meditation. So it's an incredibly powerful tool. And mindfulness is all about having peaceful positivity and an acceptance way of thinking. And it's being completely in tune with your thoughts and surroundings and emotions and body. When you're being mindful, you are happier, calmer, more relaxed, and appreciative. Meditation is the practice of moment to moment, non judgmental awareness. It's being present with things just as they are right now. It's being at peace with the current experience. It's the practice of intentionally paying attention to the present moment. And it's got so many benefits, especially if you do a daily meditation practice. It calms you down, it relieves stress, it raises self awareness, it increases focus, it recenters you to the here and the now. And I think it's a great combo if you do the 3 things you're grateful for right before sleep. And then the first thing you do when you get up is doing a meditation in the morning. These 2 things will really help with your mental health for sure. So find time in your day, 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. That's all you need. Set up a reminder system so you'll actually remember to do it, and create a little sacred space in your home for your daily practice. And if you don't live alone, be sure to tell those that you live with that this is your meditation time and not to be disturbed. I personally love to I meditate in bed. Like I was saying, I sit in bed, I do my gratitude journal at night, and then when I wake up, I go to the side of my bed and I put on a meditation right then and there. But I used to love to get up and had a little sacred space before, so whatever your preference. So, to get you started, I'd like to do a meditation with you now. And it'll help you get calm and clear and calm. So, if it's safe to do so, I'd like you to follow along. If you're doing something where you can't sit and close your eyes, it's still a nice meditation to listen to. So I encourage you to keep listening, but maybe don't do all the prompts that I'm gonna encourage you to do right now. So yeah, if it's safe to do so, I want you to begin by taking a moment to allow your body to settle into a comfortable position. Allow your spine to be straight and long, and let your shoulders soften, drop, and relax. Gently close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Or you can keep them slightly open and looking down to avoid any distractions. Take a moment to notice any sounds outside the room. Now take a moment to notice any sounds inside the room. Now turn inward to the breath. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Allowing the breath to settle the body and settle the mind. Become aware of the rhythm of your breathing. There's no need to change your breathing in any way. Simply notice it exactly as it is. Feel your chest and stomach gently rising and falling with each breath. Perhaps feeling the air as it flows in and out of your nostrils. Notice any sensations or feelings in your body. And bring your awareness to whatever is going on for you right now. Give the weight of your body up to gravity and allow your weight to sink into the points of contact between your body and the floor or the bed or the chair. Sensations are there right now. You notice any tension or resistance towards painful or unpleasant sensations. Gently turn towards them. Accept them as best you can. If you begin to tense around the breath, then let go a little bit more with each out breath. Soften into gravity. Notice any thoughts as they arise and pass through your mind. See if you can let them come and go without, identifying with their content or chasing after them. Observe them as if they were clouds in the sky. Notice any feelings and emotions as they arise. And you let these come and go. Include everything within your awareness with a kindly perspective. And now, allow your awareness to gather around the experience of the breath deep in the body. Drop your awareness inside the breath and feel the different sensations in the front and the back and the sides of the torso, in your belly, in your chest, and your ribs. Can you feel your awareness within the flow and movement of the breath? Use your breath to anchor your awareness in the present moment. Breathing in the body, noticing each inhale and exhale again and again. Each time you notice your mind has wandered, gently guide the mind back to the breath, to your belly. Now I want you to expand your awareness to include the whole body. Feel the weight, the shape of the body as it sits, stands, or it lies. Feel your whole body breathing. Got any pain or discomfort? Make sure your awareness really stays open. Cultivate acceptance and acknowledgement for all of your experience. Befriend it. Use the breath to anchor your awareness in the present moment. Breathing in the body, noticing each inhale and exhale again and again. And as we end this meditation, simply bring your attention back to the breath as you did at the beginning of the practice. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. And start to notice any sounds around you. Feel your clothes on your skin. Feel your body in the chair, or the floor, or the bed. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes and noticing all the beauty around you. I'm hoping that you feel nice and calm. Well, that's it for me today. I did want to share a gift that will be available to you in the Freebie Vault. So check out the show notes for the link. If you sign up, you'll get an email with a link to a page that has a list of gifts from me and all my guests who provided them. And the great thing is you can keep going back and seeing what new gifts have been added each week. You only need to sign up one time. Just keep that link, maybe bookmark it, and each week there should be something new in there. Oh, actually, I want to give you two gifts. So the first gift is the recording of the meditation that we just did. So you can download it and listen to it whenever you want. And my second gift for this episode that you can find in the Freebie Vault is 5 energy tips for all of us exhausted people out there with mental health. If your mental health is low, you might find that your energy is also low. So if you're feeling exhausted and you feel like you got so much on your plate with all the things that you're supposed to do, you hardly have time for the things that you want to do. If you feel like you're responsible for everything and everyone, which leaves you just feeling so tired all the time. I'm going to give you these 5 tips. They're going to help you thrive in this demanding world we find ourselves in. And by implementing these tips, you can boost your energy levels, start reclaiming your time, and experiencing a greater sense of freedom, and hopefully start to improve your mental health. So go to the Freebie Vault, sign up, and get this meditation and these 5 energy tips. Thank you for listening, and to your mental health. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically, so please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.